scare up more Halloween fun when you take home these videos from Disney. There's full-length live-action movies, Blackbeard's Ghost, Something Wicked This Way Comes, and The Watcher in the Woods. Animated mini-classic, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, classic cartoon collections, Donald's Scary Tales, and Halloween Haunts. Add these videos to your library for Halloween excitement year after year.
Salutations from the Nerdy Nation. We are live,
The Watcher in the Woods.
And for some reason I'm still hearing this, which, you know what that means? That means I have it up on my... There we go. There we go. Now the silence is good. So we're here again. I'm the Godless Iwan, also known as Matt. And this is... Who are you?
I'm Trey.
Also known as...
Trey.
Good. Okay.
I'm not very good at this.
You're just fine.
You're doing great, Chris.
Yeah, you're doing great, Chris. Anyway. So, I was in a mad rush. I have mowed my lawn today. I'm sweaty. I stink. I just ate some tuna noodle helper. Just scarfed it down so that I could be here and ready. And I haven't even shared out the link yet. That's how horrible I am. So I got to share out this link.
Share it out to who?
Share it out to the twits.
You're a twit.
Oh, you're so smart. So Trey, while I share this out, why don't you talk about what we're going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about childhood fears. Oh, spooky. This is part of our preparatory celebration for Halloween.
Yes.
Because we love Halloween.
And as far as Halloween goes, I do enjoy Halloween. I don't enjoy it as much as Christmas.
Oh, don't even fucking talk to me. Oh, gross.
I'm just saying, I love Christmas, okay?
That's fine. I'm not going to hate on you for liking Christmas.
Like, I don't know, like, what's wrong with Christmas?
Matthew, I'm not going to get into this with you.
You want to go?
I refuse. Well, I'm not here to talk about Christmas. I'm not going to let your holly jolly bullshit get in the way of my spooky ooky fun.
What about a mix? What about Nightmare Before Christmas?
That's a perfect film.
Okay, so there we go. We can agree on that.
I have to say that film, to me, airs more on the side of Halloween because of its theme and art direction and everything else.
So what would be... I don't know. I mean, it does air on the side of Halloween, but you can watch it at Halloween or Christmas and be just as happy.
I concede this. But having Christmas in it taints it to me.
Okay. So, did you just laugh at saying taint?
I laughed at myself. It wasn't specifically because I said taint.
I'm pretty sure you laughed at saying taint.
Whatever, Matthew.
You are a child.
The best Christmas movie is Gremlins.
No, I don't agree.
Or Die Hard.
I agree on Die Hard. Die Hard is my absolute favorite Christmas movie.
Do you want to know a special secret?
What?
I've never seen Die Hard.
You motherfucker.
I only just saw Lethal Weapon for the first time like 2 years ago.
How dare you, you bastard!
I'm sorry, dude. I can't see every movie ever. I'm trying.
I'm gonna condescendingly drink my Kool-Aid over here.
That's great. Just as long as it means we're going to get the fucking show started for the next Ice Age.
Oh.
Ugh.
So good. Anyway, okay, so we're getting the show started. So starting out, we're of course going to do what is our segment called?
Nerd ass shit.
Nerd ass shit. And I'm gonna let you start out. So you tell me what you want me to put up on the screen first.
I gave them to you in the order that I wanted you to put them
Well, I understand, and I will get that going. I was just, trying to lead you into it so that I could open it up and get it going. Okay, so
I don't remember what I told you to do. I think I had you do. Did I put Madman first?
Yes, that is first. So let me transition over there. Okay, so we've got Madman.
I just want to point out first that nerd ass shit is only 2 words. Nerd ass should be 1 word.
Nerd ass should be 1 word.
Nerd ass shit.
I don't think that's 1 word.
I think we should have some kind of theme song, or at least do some kind of audio thing where we're like nerd ass shit.
Nerd ass shit. Nerd ass shit. Nerd ass shit.
Nerd ass shit.
Nerds. We should. And if we ever got together more than like 2 days in advance, we might be able to come up with some of this stuff.
Guess what? Like, when we get together, why don't we just do that stuff and then use it for the next time?
Hey, that's great. You know what? So if we're gonna do this, you should go nerd ass shit. Your turn.
What? No, we're not doing it right now, man.
What? Nothing makes sense now.
We're gonna do it the next time I'm at your house sitting
next to you. Do it live.
Fool.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Do it live. Fuck it. Okay, so I've been reading Madman, which is a wonderful comic book. It's an indie comic. I believe the author's name is Mike Allred. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's spelled all red, I think.
I would guess it's pronounced all red.
It's very fun. And it's got a very retro feel to like the artwork and the aesthetic. It's got a 1950s future, retro future kind of vibe. And it's very lighthearted and it has a very sweet sentimentality to it. And it's about the main character. They call him Frank. I don't think that's his real name. He doesn't know who he is. He's got like amnesia, and a mad scientist guy helped him out. And
I'm gonna zoom in on this picture a little bit, and I'll cover up my ugly face for a moment.
Oh God, please do.
Okay, so I'm seeing a guy. He's got an exclamation point on his chest.
Yeah, lightning exclamation point.
Like I'm seeing, like it looks like Bender is in the background.
He's punching robots.
Punching robots with a brick.
Yes.
Brick does not beat metal, though.
It's very fun. It's a really fun little comic. What I like about it the most, I was reading the first volume, and there was this part like it's a collection of issues, right? Like most graphic novels are. And in the story of the issue that I was reading, Madman has to go take this device to an alien so that the alien can go home because it's like stuck on Earth. So him and his mad scientist friend, I don't remember his name, Dr. What the fuck ever, and like a CIA agent, they go to South America or Central America where the pyramids are because the alien's in one of the pyramids. And like out of nowhere, one of the fucking 3 Nephites from the Book of Mormon shows up, and I'm like, "What the fuck? What is this madness?" And it's apparently I read up on it afterwards because it just blew me away. I have never seen something from the Book of Mormon pop up in popular culture, except for maybe like the original Battlestar Galactica. It has several Mormon references in it. But I was like, wow, that's really weird, and it's kind of cool. And I guess the author, Mike Allred, he was raised Mormon.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he still is, but he has like a soft spot for it. So he just kind of tosses shit in there every once in a while that's Mormon related. And I don't know, it's really cool. It's a very fun little comic book. It's very endearing. The artwork is beautiful. Like I said, it's got like a 1950s kind of retro style to it, and I highly recommend it. And apparently, like everybody in their fucking world has like drawn covers and pinup art for this comic book, because there's like a Frank Frazetta one, and it's only from like 2002, and it just shocked me that Frank Frazetta would have drawn this character, because he died in like 2010, I think, so it was pretty late in his life after he had a stroke. And I just like in this collected volume, there are just so many covers done by artists. I'm like, oh, here's freaking Todd McFarlane and William Stout, and I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. But I highly recommend it. It's very fun.
Okay, and I'm being told by the chat that they're experiencing some buffering. There's not really anything that I can do on my end. I don't see any issues that I'm having. So yeah, frustrated. You're just gonna have to take it. I'm just telling you. Anyway, so it does sound pretty interesting. The only nerd ass shit that I have prepared for myself today, I know you have too, but I was in the market for a new phone because my phone is absolute garbage. Mm-hmm. And I had Cyrus the Skeptic recommended me to get this, and it's a Moto Z3 Play. And I guess it's supposed to be really cool. So I'm excited to get it, but I do have a funny story that goes with this.
Okay.
So when I filled out this information to get the new phone, I asked that they transfer my number. And then I didn't hear anything back from them for 2 days. Well, Saturday they called me and told me that they were unable to transfer my number because my number was invalid. And then I explained to them, you just called me on the number that I want transferred. And they said, I'm sorry, sir. We're just telling you that your number is invalid. And so I'm getting a new number. I didn't even want to bother with it. It just bugged the crap out of me.
Yeah. That's dumb as shit and really weird.
It is. It's really weird. I don't get it at all.
This number we're calling you from doesn't work.
Yes, this number is wrong.
So this is like not happening? You're not actually calling me? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Exactly. I mean, that's how it would have to work out, because I tried telling them, well, you know, you're calling the number that you're saying is invalid. Well, we're sorry, sir. That number is invalid.
Don't get all shitty at me, you fuckers.
I'm like, okay.
Fuck. Rude.
All right, so what's your next nerd ass shit? I'm going to go ahead and transition over to it now.
All right. Give me just 1 sec.
So it's on the screen and people already know. It's already spoiled. You've just ruined it.
I've been playing Pokemon Platinum. And it's fun. I love Pokemon.
Why do you love Pokemon?
Because I love the art design and I love the game mechanic, and you go around catching fun little monsters and you make them fight each other like some kind of cute cartoony dogfighting ring. What's not to love? It's fantastic.
Yeah, what's not to love about forcing animals that are cute to kill, or to not kill one another, but put each other to sleep, I guess is what it is.
Fella, listen, you have to, you bond with your Pokemon. They become your friends, and everybody loves each other, and if you're not good to your Pokemon, then they won't listen to you, so just shut the fuck up.
I am not going to shut the fuck up.
Well, clearly, I had written down all the shit we were going to talk about today, and then I lost it.
Oh, you mean like the word pad that I sent you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that you could open right now?
That's yeah, but I had like the things I was going to say. Like,
I had like the things that I was going to say.
I don't know why you got to be so shitty about it.
I'll be shitty when I want to be shitty.
I don't know why you got to be such a salty bitch. But anyway, Pokemon Platinum is the one where there's like these cosmic dinosaurs that are really cool. There's like a time dinosaur and a space dinosaur, and one of the Pokemons apparently is God, and it created the universe. And that's one of the things I love about Pokemon is it's just so goddamn weird.
Yeah.
They do weird shit, and it's awesome.
I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed Pokemon Red. That's the only game that I've ever played that I enjoyed.
I know, Grandpa.
I
about it.
It was on. I had a Game Boy Color, but I think it was just on the regular Game Boy, and yeah, it didn't look so good, but it was fun.
Yeah, I get that. You know, I like it. I think they're very fun games.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I respect that.
That's right, you do, you fucker.
So our first segment today is supposed to be just off the wall fears. So are you gonna start us off again?
I can, but I have to find what I was going to talk about real quick.
Oh, good.
I can't fucking find it.
We're professionals here, people.
Okay. So, yeah, the first one is spooky stairs.
Spooky stairs. Okay.
Okay.
Let me get that pulled up for you.
Okay. And along with spooky stairs is a phenomenon that I like to refer to as door jitters. And door jitters is when it's dark out and you've got yourself all spooked out, because if you're like me, you're usually thinking about things that scare you, because that's just how my brain works. And it's at night and you're going inside, but there's like a period of time where you have to turn your back to the darkness. And if you're not yet to the house, you know, where the safety and light is, there's several seconds where there's like fear and alarm as you got to get inside the door quick.
I still have this.
Yeah, me too, all the time. Me too. This isn't a childhood thing. This is a continuous thing. I got to get inside the door, or the goblins from hell are going to drag me into the void, and it'll all be over.
See, well, like, you've been to my house, and you know the hall that goes back to the bedroom. Well, the light for the hall is up towards the front of the hall and not towards the back.
At the front, it's terrible.
And so it's like, okay, so I've got to turn off the light, and then I've got 3 seconds to get to the bedroom before all the bad guys come out and try to kill me. And so I'm like, and I try to play it off cool. I try to be like, I'm going to turn it off and then just walk slow, because I'm an adult and I don't have stupid fears. And then I get like 2 or 3 steps and I hear like a cricket behind me. I'm like, oh my God!
Oh, fuck! I got to get into my room quick before the girl from the ring comes and gets me.
Exactly. Oh, it's so bad, and it's so stupid. Like, I know it's stupid.
It's absolutely absurd.
Oh, man. So, like, I can say that I have the exact same thing when it comes to stairways and doorways. I do not like open doors at night.
Yeah.
And not only that, but when I stayed at your old house, it was creepy as fuck, because there was an open door, but it was also a fucking stairway.
I know, dude. And it wasn't just an open door. There was no door there. There was no door to be seen. So any nightmare monster could come slithering out, come shambling out in the dead of night.
I don't know. It's awful. And they're saying that my picture is of Holy Kool-Aid, but it shouldn't be. It should have been the name was messed up for a little bit, and I fixed it. I fucking fixed it, frustrated. I tried my best.
I got it pulled up and it says childhood fears.
Yeah, you're wrong. Maybe refresh there, Fruss.
Fruss.
Looking at you, Fruss.
How many people are watching? 2?
We've got 13 people watching right now.
Holy shit, that's a perfect number, too.
And awesome. I hear that your mommy is watching it this time, too.
She was going to try. I don't know if she was successful, but if she was, hi, Mommy. I love you. I love my mommy. I don't care who knows it.
Trey loves his mommy. Trey loves his mommy. Trey loves his mommy.
Trey loves his mommy.
All right. So anyway, but yeah, I've had the same thing with stairs. So So my off the wall fear that I'm gonna start with once it lets me delete the stairs and get this added.
This is great. Professional.
Yes, it's very professional. I'm trying my best, okay? I'm doing my hardest work here, and it's just not easy. Okay, so this should give people nightmares for days.
I can't see it yet. Tell me what it is.
I don't know if you remember Mr. Rogers.
Of course.
Okay, but there's an episode of Mr. Rogers where he puts on a clown mask.
Oh, fuck.
It's the most horrific clown mask of all time. It's the scariest. You should be able to see it soon. It's the scariest thing. And when I was a kid, I remember shrieking when they did this on the TV.
Oh, that's great.
It's like, oh, it's Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers is putting on a Halloween mask. This will be, oh my God!
That's great. I will also have a story later about shrieking.
It's so horrifying. Like, even looking at it now, it looks like Mr. Rogers turns into John Wayne Gacy. Like, within a split second of putting that mask on. Can you see it yet?
Nope.
Can't
I think
see
we're
it
having
yet.
some buffering problems.
Are we?
Yeah.
You might have to refresh.
Me?
Yeah, try refreshing your stream.
Don't ever tell me what to do.
Mr. Rogers is a horrifying man.
Yeah, there's no picture yet. None of us are moving.
I'm moving.
Of course, I have like terrible internet, so.
I'm dancing. Dancing because I just ate tuna noodle helper.
Ugh, can you like share the picture with me on FacePage or something? Because I want to see it.
You know what? I'm gonna try to do that, buddy. Just because you're such a pal. I'm going to do that right now.
That's great.
So it's gonna take me just a second.
Okay. Also, if you're done talking about your first one, I'll talk about my second one.
Well, you got to get this first.
Not until I see this picture.
So I've just sent it to you.
There it is. Okay, hang on. Jesus Christ.
Is that not horrifying?
God, he just fucking sits there.
And just stares.
With his hands in his lap. You have to accept this now, children.
That's not good at all.
No, it's awful. Oh, Jesus. Mr. Rogers, what the fuck?
Oh, man.
That's great.
Okay, so I'm getting creepy Rogers off the screen, and we're going to put up your next image.
Yes.
Which on this one, you're going to have to tell me which one you want me to put up.
The whale.
Okay. I will get that one put up now. Got to resize it.
Hold up.
Now Trey is gone.
I'm back. I had to get a prop.
Okay, so the whale is on the screen now.
All right, so this is a book. Is this going to be backwards to the viewer?
It's possible that it will be. Let me see if I can get you switched. Just a second.
Well, it doesn't matter a whole hell of a lot. This is a book that my late grandfather gave me. I have had this for 25 years. It's a book by Jacques Cousteau, and it's called The Whale, Mighty Monarch of the Sea. Okay. And as this book has beat up all the shit, it went through a lot. This book's been through hell and back. But I was looking at this as a kid. It's got a lot of really beautiful whale photography in it.
Yes.
And whales are super cool. But there's this 2-page spread of this picture of a gray whale, okay?
Okay.
It fucking terrified me every time I looked at it. And this is an actual scan from this book. That's why it looks so ragged. And like I had it memorized where the picture was in the book so I could avoid it because it would scare the shit out of me every time I'd open it up. And like dark water in general, like deep dark water terrifies me. But if some giant leviathan is coming up out of it, then I just piss my pants. It's absolutely terrifying to me. And I think what's most terrifying is, like, there are several things about the picture that are very strange. Like, the whale appears to be upside down, because if you see a picture of a gray whale, their heads aren't dished down, they're dished up.
Yeah.
And, like, its eye, looks, if it was right side up, its eye would be below its jawline, and I'm pretty sure that's not how the whale is built.
Yeah, it doesn't look right.
So for some reason, it's upside down, but that's how it's printed in the book. And there's light coming from above it, so it has to be swimming upside down, which that makes sense because, you know, whales will, like, you know, twirl around in the water like they do, you know, I guess.
Yeah, I'm imagining this whale just jumped in the air and landed on its back, and you get the picture there.
Maybe, but there's not. If it had done that, you'd think there would be all kinds of bubbles everywhere. And it's just kind of serenely floating around, and its eye is definitely, like, it's very intelligent. The eyes of whales in general, but, like, in this picture, this whale has like a person's eye, and it's quite striking, and it scared the holy hell crap out of me as a kid, and even now. Like, I had to fucking scan this goddamn picture, and it's like, oh Jesus, there it is! Ah! So, like, this is how goofy I am. If I am in any body of water, whether it be a swimming pool, a pond, or in my bathtub, if I think about deep water with giant leviathans coming out of it, I'll get freaked out. I'll be like, no, I can't think about that! Yes.
Man. And once again, I'm told by the chat that we are frozen. Okay, we're going again, I guess. That there it is, but yeah, we're like freezing up so bad right now. I don't know what's going on.
They'll just have to watch it, like, after we're done, right? I mean,
yeah, I don't know if it'll fix it. Like, I'm gonna try and do something here. Let's see. You know, I can't make any changes while we're on the air. So yeah, that's great. So anyway, so the whale is very creepy.
Yeah, you think it's creepy too?
Yes.
Yeah.
The whale is very, very creepy. My next thing though, and some people are getting perfect, so I'm guessing it's a refresh issue with YouTube. So I'm not going to worry about it. We're doing it live. We're fucking doing this shit. And we're going to have the greatest fucking stream of all fucking time.
Would you just get to your next thing before I die of old age? Jesus.
Trying.
Yes, I know, honey. You're doing great.
Okay, so as far as my next horrifying thing, it's a Howdy Doody doll.
Oh, God.
And my brother received one of these for Christmas one year. And I absolutely hated this thing. And I would wake up, and I'm pretty sure my brother was just doing stuff to screw with me. But, like, I would wake up, and this thing would be in bed with me. Or it would be sitting across the room just staring at me. And so it backfired on my brother because we were at home and my parents left. It was like the first time they left us alone for the night. And I took the Howdy Doody doll out to the burn barrel and set it on fire.
Oh, shit! Oh, my God, dude.
I eliminated that demonic Howdy Doody.
I thought you were going to say, oh, I scared him with it. No, you fucking destroyed it.
That's right.
You fucking burnt that shit.
It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
That's great.
Oh.
I love it. God, you're hardcore. Remind me never to piss you off.
That's right. Don't piss me off, especially not with Howdy Doody. That's a creepy fucking doll. Like
Howdy Doody is an unwholesome abomination.
Like, okay, I understand that television technology wasn't that great back when Howdy Doody was on the air. But at the same time, I'm like, why?
they didn't have to make it look like an evil little elf.
Exactly, but like all dolls back then looked horrifying.
And like I'm pretty sure contemporary with Howdy Doody, Bob Clampett was doing the Beanie and Cecil show.
Yeah.
And like Cecil was a puppet and he wasn't creepy. So what's your fucking problem, Howdy Doody people? That thing is it's god awful. He's an ugly little troll.
Yes, he was. He was horrifying. Ugh. But
Great.
well, like even Captain Kangaroo had some horrifying like doll characters on it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't cool. Why did they do that to children?
Dolls are kind of your nemesis anyway.
They are. So and it's going to come back up. So what's your next thing up? Which would you like me to go with? Are we done with Off the Wall?
Yeah. Now we're moving on to media. Is that right?
Yes, we're moving on to media.
Okay. So my first thing, the first couple of things, they're kind of related.
Okay.
But it's 2 episodes from the 1960s series, The Outer Limits.
Now, I will say The Outer Limits was scarier than Twilight Zone for the most part.
It was, because they would usually go with a lot more horror-themed episodes than the Twilight Zone would. I love them both. They're both fantastic shows, even today. But the Outer Limits, like, I think they knew how to use their budget a little better, and because they had an hour to do it instead of just half an hour, they could tell a more coherent story, and they had just more time to build up the tension.
Like the thing I remember most from The Outer Limits is there's an episode where this guy has this eyeball appear on his shoulder.
Yes,
I remember that, and I was horrified by that as a child.
Yeah, and then Sam Raimi makes an homage to that in Army of Darkness. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
When Ash swallows one of his little clones, and then it starts growing out of him.
Yeah, I remember that, and I can see that the chat is a bit behind right now. They've just gotten up to the whale, and they're saying that the whale is a beautiful pick, and that you're wrong for being afraid of it.
Look, I'm not saying it was rational. Fears are usually, oftentimes, I should say, not rational, okay? I'm glad you like it. I'm looking at it right now, and it scares the shit out of me. It's horrifying. It's a giant murky beast in a giant murky ocean, and that's where I'm going to go if I go to hell when I die.
I don't... But I'm looking at these 2 pictures that you've given me now. So yeah. I see a guy looking at a screen with what looks like Cobra Commander on it. Okay,
so the first one, that's from the very first episode, and it's called The Galaxy Being. And it's a really cool episode. The Outer Limits had some fantastic fucking writing. And it's one of my favorite Outer Limits episodes. But as a kid, the design of the creature was very startling to me. And this is going to come up again, but I don't want to tip my hand too much. But it's the creature's design is like vaguely humanoid, and it has very clear eyes, but it has no mouth or nose. And it's really cool, and it like comes through into like our dimension from somewhere else. And it's not what I liked. Like, this isn't what I found scary about it. What I found scary was basically just how it looked, because the creature itself wasn't mean. He wasn't evil. He was very powerful, and his effect in our dimension was somewhat destructive. But he had a very generally positive message to humanity, which was, don't fuck around with, nuclear weapons and shit like that. He had a positive message for humanity, and it like that as a kid, it was like I was used to monster movies and shows where the monster was just a monster and it was a villain and it was there to murder people. And when I watched this, it had a 2-pronged effect on me. On one hand, it was scary because he looks weird, but on the other hand, it was intriguing because he wasn't evil. He looked horrifying, but he was good. And so I love that dichotomy, and I love what that did to my child brain. So are people not able to see this yet?
They're not seeing it live. They're probably 5 or 7 minutes back because of you.
Okay, but if they watch this later, they'll see it as we talk about it, though, right?
Yeah, they'll see it. It'll still play for them. It just plays for them at a lag.
Okay. Are you gonna show the second picture now too?
The second picture is up with the first one.
Okay, so the second picture, I think it's actually the second episode. But this episode was called "The Architects of Fear," and if I'm remembering correctly, when they first aired this, the censors thought it would be too scary, so when they showed this alien, they put a black box over its face.
It's really not surprising to me.
It looks good for fucking 1960 whatever. It looks great. And like they made a full body prosthetic for it, and it's on the screen a couple of times, but that's just its face that, I sent you a picture of. But it looks great. Also, a very interesting thing, I'll talk about the story behind why there's this alien in the episode, because it's actually really interesting. But they call it a thetan. Isn't that weird?
That's very weird.
That's weird. I don't know if L. Ron Hubbard stole that name from this episode, because I don't know when he started using it. Because I don't know if that was in Dianetics or whatever, and I don't know when Dianetics was written, but it's called a thetan.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, the story of this episode is like it takes place during a Cold War. It's not necessarily supposed to be the Cold War, but it's a Cold War. And the governments of the world decide to stage an alien invasion to get all of the world's governments to work together and to bring peace. And in doing this, they have to take, I think it's a soldier. I don't remember if he volunteers or if he gets like just picked out at random. But they take him and they surgically transform him into an alien.
Okay.
So that they can make their plan go into effect. So the horror from this episode to me comes from not just the creature design, because it looks good. It's very startling. It's got those big eyes, and he's like all scaly, and he's got that weird mask. But was a guy, and they just turned him into a freak. And they turned him into a goddamn monster. And he was like, he had a pregnant wife and shit or something, or he was like going to get married. And that's fucked for him now, because now he's an alien. And like there's a scene in the episode. There's a scene in the episode where he has to learn to talk using his mind, and he can't use his voice box anymore. And it was just like very, very strange and surreal. And as a kid, that freaked me out. But it's beautiful. I love the show. Like nowadays, it's one of my favorite television shows that have ever been. The 90s Outer Limits was pretty good too. But some of those original 60s episodes were really great. Even though, they were low budget, but for what they had, they did a good job.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So anyway, that is my first entry into what popular media scared me as a child.
Okay. I'm getting an echo now.
From me?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do about it?
Did you turn up your volume or something?
No!
Okay, so it seems to have gone away. I don't know. Sometimes the echo just comes and goes. It's weird. Okay, so my first media fear doesn't come from the Outer Limits, but it comes from the other show we talked about. It is the Twilight Zone, and it is the episode with Talking Tina.
Yes!
Talking Tina was the scariest episode, I think. Like I watched tons of Twilight Zone episodes as a kid, and some of them were unnerving. Some of them had a little fear to them. Talking Tina kept me awake at night for months. And it's
great.
It wasn't even like, I don't even think I'd seen the full show with Talking Tina. It was actually a episode. They were releasing the Twilight Zone on VHS. Mm-hmm. And I can remember the commercial where it says, "I'm Talking Tina and I want to kill you." Yeah, and I'm like, as a child, I'm just like, oh we're going to I didn't know, Mommy! Mommy, why does the doll want to kill us?
Oh, that's
it
great.
wants to kill me. So, I can still remember my mother's answer to why there's this scary doll in the TV. Her answer was that sometimes devil-possessed people make TV shows.
Oh, God!
I'm like, that doesn't make it any better.
That makes it infinitely worse.
I know.
Because not only is it scary and it's real.
Yeah, exactly.
You're completely fucked and you're gonna die. Oh my God, that's terrifying. How wonderful.
This doll, it's so scary. Like, I don't even, it's the cutest little doll. There's nothing really scary about it, but the fact that it's just, I think the fact that it doesn't look scary makes it even scarier. It's got that kid waking up in the middle of the night kind of fear to it. Like when you have a kid that just stands over you at night waiting for you to wake up and they have their face like inches from you, like, are you awake? And you're like, oh!
What's funny is I remember doing that to my mother more than once.
And if she is here, you should apologize.
I'm sorry, Mom. I mean, I'm not sorry because it's funny. I do remember one distinct occasion. This is strange. But what I would do is I would scare myself by watching this video. Shit, maybe I should have included this too. It was a dinosaur video, which is like the most innocuous thing ever. Like, it's dinosaurs. They're not scary.
Yeah.
I mean, at least not to me. Probably to normal kids they would have been. But it had Fred Savage in it too, now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and like there's two sections of the video. There's a Fred Savage section, and then there's a claymation Will Vinton section. Well, towards the end of the Fred Savage section, he's like, I'm going to do my report on dinosaurs. And then the voiceover's like, it was at that time that I realized I was going to... It's a Wonder Years reference. Anyway, he's like, he has this postcard. It's from a museum, and it's like a diorama of a T-Rex like eating a Triceratops, and it's like super gory. Like the Triceratops' guts are all over the fucking place. So he puts this postcard into his notebook where his report is, and then it goes into like a dream sequence, I guess. And we're like actually in that museum where this life-size diorama is, and there's like fog everywhere, and there's this terrifying horror film music. Like it sounds like the shower scene from Psycho. There's like a wait, and it's like, oh God, and there's like loon scream sound effects in the background, like, you know, that wailing cry that loons make. The bird, not a mentally unsound person.
Yes.
And like it's like zooming in on this Triceratops' fucking guts, and they got dry ice or something, so it's like steaming, and it was like horrifying to me. It terrified the shit out of me.
I get it.
So one night, do you remember this? Did you see this?
No, I get the fear because in the shower scene from Psycho, I still can't take showers. So any kind of shower or steaminess is horrifying.
Yes, and it had that music, and it was dinosaurs. Anyway, so that night, like I would watch this all the time and then scare myself. So at night, I got up and I went upstairs to where my mom's bedroom was, and I was like, Mom, can I sleep with you? It's like, I don't fucking care. I shouldn't say fuck, probably. Maybe. That's okay, Mom. I say fuck too. Anyway, she's like, yes, you can sleep with me. It's fine. And as I'm going to get into bed, I remember seeing I looked at a street light outside. And so like I was having those weird blotches when you see like a light and then you're in darkness.
Yeah.
I saw this blotch and it looked like a figure coming around the bed towards me. And I'm like, oh, fuck! And I dove into bed with my mother. And she's like, oh, hi. And I'm like, oh, so watching the dinosaur show made the devil come and try to kill me.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah, so that was a bonus one. I'm sorry. If you have a bonus one you'd like to share too, that's fine.
Well, I don't really have a bonus one, but I can, for just a second, I can talk about one of my other main fears. people that have followed my other channel or have interacted with me on Twitter or whatever will know that I'm horrified of horses. And I absolutely can't stand them.
Yeah.
And the problem is when I was about 3 years old, we went sledding and we went out to this field and there were some horses in the field. And my dad was like, "Oh, they're nice horses. Just watch." And well, my dad doesn't sound like this. I don't know why I did this, but anyway, yeah, he sounds exactly like me. So my dad, he's like, "They're nice horses. Don't worry." And we go over to the horses and my dad brings out some sugar cubes and he has me and my brother feed these horses sugar cubes. And it's like, "Yay, these horses are nice. We love these horses." So then we ran out of sugar cubes and we decided to start walking away. And the horse bit me on the shoulder and picked me up off the ground.
Oh my God.
And from that point on, I've been traumatized of horses ever since. Like,
how old were you?
I was 3. I was like 3 years old. And
oh my God.
Yeah, it was not cool at all. It was scary. And so I hate horses. I am very much pro the eradication of the entire species because they're trying to kill our kids.
They're trying to kill you anyway.
Exactly. And I am a representative of all the kids.
I can't believe that.
So I'm guessing the next one that you want me to put up is the one that you also have the book?
Yes.
Okay. And you know what? I realized we skipped a segment, Trey.
Oh, we're going to talk about nightmares, weren't we?
Yes, we didn't talk about nightmares, so we'll get to that after.
Yeah, let's just do that last.
Okay, so transitioning, and there we go. So go ahead, Trey. Yes.
This is a screen cap. I took this screen cap myself, which means I had to go through a fucking emotional turmoil just to get it, because I had to pull up this scene from YouTube. This is a screen cap of a scene from the movie Communion, starring Christopher Walken.
Which I might add, if you've ever wanted to see Christopher Walken's penis, you can get that film.
I don't remember his penis in this movie.
His penis is in the movie.
It's been a while since I've seen it. I'll take your word for it.
Because there's a scene where they're having sex, and then the aliens freeze them, and Christopher Walken floats up off of his wife and through the house, and he's nude.
And his balls are dangling.
Yes.
Anyway, it's based on this book. So that scene, the cover of this book terrifies me. Even right now, I'm fucking having to look at it, and I fucking hate it. It's horrifying. Fuck you. It scares the shit out of me. It's creepy as shit. As a kid, I distinctly remember the first time I saw this scene. It was included in an advertisement for the movie when it was going to be shown on Fox. Okay, I'm moving my camera a sec. There we go. I could see the doorway behind me, and I didn't want a gray to pop out while I'm streaming. Anyway. Well,
I would assume if you saw this on Fox, that's why you don't remember him being nude.
Well, I've watched it since then. But it's been a couple years. Anyway, it's actually a really boring movie. As a kid, I think it was around Thanksgiving, and I must have been about 5 or 6. And we were watching Fox, and an advertisement for Communion came on. And they show this scene where Christopher Walken is in bed, and he's like, "Is somebody there? Someone is in my house." I can't do Christopher Walken. And then this fucking alien peeks from behind like a cupboard or some shit. And when I saw that, I screamed aloud, much like you described with Mr. Rogers and his horrifying John Wayne Gacy mask. I screamed out loud and leapt up backwards onto the couch. And my mom's response to this was fucking classic. She's like, oh, did that scare you a little bit, honey? And I'm like, it didn't just fucking scare me. It tore my psyche asunder. Fucking horrified me. And from that point forwards, I have been fascinated by and terrified of the Greys. From that day unto this. So, of course, I have this book that scares me so much.
I don't understand having the book if it scares you that much.
I've got lots of alien books because I find it fascinating. I love it. I love the topic of UFOs and especially alien abduction. It's fucking fascinating to me. It's strange. And one of the things I like about it most is that it doesn't have an easy answer. Oh, and I think the picture is about to pop up in my other window here now, so I can fucking stare at it when it freezes. That's fucking crazy.
That's awesome. So anyway, I will say that movie is boring. Like I said, it does have gratuitous nudity of Christopher Walken. If that's anybody's thing, go out and check that movie. But that scene where the Gray looks around the corner, is horrifying. I can totally remember that.
Freaked me the fuck out.
So then, as far as my next media fear was so the very first horror movie that I ever watched was Return of the Living Dead, but it didn't scare me. Like, I wasn't scared at all. Like, I watched it and I enjoyed it.
It's a good movie.
But then my parents said, well, if he can handle Return of the Living Dead, we can show him the classic Night of the Living Dead, which horrified me. Yeah. Oh my, because the tone
is completely different.
It's so much scarier. These zombies, like, if you were to expect what a dead person that came back to life is going to move like, it's the Night of the Living Dead zombies. Yep. This one, there was also nudity in Night of the Living Dead. There's a butt. It shows a lady's butt, but not as gratuitous as the movie that you showed. But also, it's just so horrifying. Like, you get to see people get burned alive in a truck, and then the zombies swarm it and start eating the charred bodies. It's like as a kid, I saw a lot of black and white movies, and they were never really violent. Well, I didn't realize until I was much older that this was black and white, even though it didn't really need to be black and white. Mm-hmm. It was filmed in a time where it could have been filmed in color, but they chose black and white because it would give it a more scary feel and more of a classic movie feel, so it would take people unaware by the actual violence in it. And
cheaper too, I'm sure.
Oh, it was cheaper, yeah. But I also absolutely hate the guy in the basement.
Yeah.
Even as a small child, I was so happy when he got killed.
By his own zombie daughter? Or was
yes.
That just mom?
They don't act. The mom gets killed by the zombie daughter. I think he gets killed by being drugged into the zombie horde, doesn't he?
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen the original.
Like, he's trying to get out the door or something, and they grab him, if I remember right.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, the mom gets killed, but you don't see her get killed. You just see her blood shoot across the screen onto the garden tool.
Don't you also see her horrifying skeletal face later?
Yeah, you do see her skeletal face. She doesn't turn into a zombie, though. Which
I have to assume that's just because the daughter ate too much of her body for her to be.
Yes.
It was hungry. She was hangry.
She was. But this movie frightened me beyond all measure. I was so horrified of it, and yet I absolutely love zombie films now. Like,
all right, sure.
I won't say that there's not a bad zombie film because I've seen a couple, but at the same time, it's really hard to mess up a zombie film. It's so hard to mess it up.
Yeah.
One zombie film that does mess it up is there's a movie called Zombies of Mass Destruction, which basically takes Muslim people and replaces them with zombies. And so it's all about anti-Islamic people, but they're being anti-zombie. It's so stupid.
Sounds a bit ham-fisted.
Yes, it definitely was. So that was the end of mine there. We did still have the nightmares. Do you want to talk about that now, or do you want to talk about that at a later time?
We could talk about it now, but I don't fucking remember. I had it written down. I had it written down and then I fucking forgot. I do, you know, I think I can remember as we talk about it.
Okay, so remember.
Yeah, I remember. It's fine. We can do it. We got this.
I don't believe we got this. I don't believe we have anything.
So easy. We got this. Just fucking relax. Just chill, will you?
I'm chilled.
Will you just take a chill pill for me?
I have taken a chill pill. So do you want me to start with my nightmare?
Go ahead, sure.
Okay, so it involves Night of the Living Dead. But it actually involves the Return of the Living Dead and Night of the Living Dead, because there was fast and slow zombies in this. But I had a reoccurring dream throughout my entire childhood of a zombie outbreak, and the end of the dream was always me getting eaten by the zombies.
Yay!
Until I stumbled upon the ability to lucid dream.
Oh, yes.
I absolutely hated this dream so much that somehow I was able to figure out, hey, I'm having this dream again. And so then that nightmare became one of my favorite dreams, because I would have it, instantly realize that it's a dream, and start I'd have all kinds of weapons and guns, and I'd be 10 feet tall and just smashing through the zombies. And awesome. It was great. But for the majority of my childhood, it was horrifying. And I can remember waking up so many times screaming because of this stupid dream.
That's good.
Go ahead. Okay, well, that's good. We're at the end of the show, so great to have it now. But go ahead with yours.
All right, so my first, do you want me to just go with all of them at once? Or do you have more nightmares you want to talk about?
Well, I do have one. If you want me to go ahead and talk about it, and then you can go into yours.
Sure, let's do that.
Okay, so when I was a very young child, I had Sesame Street curtains. And this isn't it's not really even a nightmare. It was just, I would wake up at night and look up at my curtains, and I could swear that Ernie was looking down at me and was plotting evil things against me. And I would just start shrieking. And this is just innocuous. It's just cute little Ernie. It's that's just Ernie. And it's just why is Ernie wanting to kill me? And I remember time and time again waking up, looking up, seeing Ernie, and just starting crying and shrieking. And I don't know why my parents didn't just take down the stupid curtains. I think they hated me, maybe. Because they just kept them up there. They kept them up. I would point out, I don't like those curtains. And they never got taken down. Mom, Dad,
you're fine.
Why did you not take those down? I'm hurt. Shit.
There's a zombie girl from Night of the Living Dead.
Yep. That's 10 minutes ago now.
Yep.
We're good.
It scared me because it just popped up there, and I'm like, oh, fuck!
So what's your nightmare?
Okay, I have several. Several that I remember. I guess 3 specifically. My first one, I was very young, and I had this dream. It's weird because, it was dream logic. So, in the dream, I was, in an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, which is already terrifying to me as a child. But I remember it had this vague Robert Stack narration, and he was, talking about me, but he wasn't, talking to me.
What the hell?
So it was just talking about the kid that was in this diner. So I was in a diner, and I'm, lost, and I don't know where my mom is, and I'm looking around, and I tried to talk to this waitress, and what's kind of funny is, as I remember it, it was a 1950s diner. So everybody, the waitress was in a skirt and everything. She looked like 1950s waitress. But I'm I remember tugging on her skirt to ask her where my mom was, and she turns around. She has a fucking bulldog face. And her eyes are glowing red, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And I turn around, and this guy in this booth is sitting there, and he's kind of sprawled out, and he's all comfortable, and he's got a fucking bulldog face 2, and his fucking eyes are glowing, and he starts growling at me. And I woke up. Oh, God! It was terrifying. I remember it vividly to this day. My next dream is actually a series of dreams. I don't have them anymore, and I don't know why. But as a kid, I would have reoccurring dreams where I would be someplace, and the sky is gone. And in its place, this is actually quite terrifying now that I think about it. The sky is gone, and I can see there's like a galaxy in the sky. Like the atmosphere has been ripped away, but everybody's still alive or something. And like I remember one specific dream where I'm standing on a balcony, like in Brooklyn. And this was a kid. I didn't know anything about fucking New York. I just remember it was like a big city. And in the dream, it was like, oh, this is Brooklyn. And I was standing with Boris Karloff as Frankenstein's monster.
Okay.
But he was just off to the side, and we looked up into the sky, and there's this glowing, pulsating galaxy. And it like made this exploding noise. It was like, and then I woke up because it was terrifying. But I would have very similar dreams like that, where the sky would be completely gone and there would be stars and a huge galaxy, like the Earth had just been flung out of its orbit and was plummeting through space. And it would always be a night terror, like it would always be terrifying, and I'd always wake up. Which, thinking about it, that's wonderful. It's wonderfully creepy. It's like almost Lovecraftian, and I love that. It's great. And then my last one is actually kind of funny, now that I think about it. And at the time, I remember telling my mom about this dream, and she laughed at me, and I was all pissy and indignant. But it's hilarious. So, as a kid, like, Full House was a big thing.
Okay.
I hated that show then, and I hate it even more now because it's boring and mundane and stupid and not funny.
Okay.
But the Olsen twins child, what was that character's name? Do you remember?
That was Michelle.
Okay, Michelle. In this dream, Michelle was possessed by a demon. And I was like 6 years old, and I don't know how I knew of this concept, but in the dream, she was very specifically possessed by a demon. And like it was terrifying because her face was like all greenish, and her eyes were glowing, and she was like roaring and ferocious and terrifying. And she was like screaming, and it was like really intense. And then I told my mom about it the next day. She's like, "Oh, how'd you sleep, honey?" And I'm like, "Oh, I had a bad dream." And she's like, "Oh, well, what was it about?" And I said, "Michelle from Full House was scary." And my mom's like, "Oh, was she spitting pea soup?" And I'm like, "Don't you laugh at my pain."
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
It is. It's very funny.
Okay.
I would also have reoccurring dreams about Greys and being abducted, because I probably was.
You probably were. And probed over and over again.
That's fine. Whatever. Oh, I was going to mention that. This book is where the cliche or the trope of aliens giving rectal exams comes from. It comes from this book. Because in this book, Whitley Strieber, the author, describes a scaly triangular device swarming into his anus. Swarming into his anus. That's very descriptive. I mean, it gives you a definite. It is. Idea of what's happening. I just put this book down face up, and now I hate myself for having done that.
So, I am sending you an image on Facebook.
Okay.
Someone took this picture of us and shared it on Twitter because of the lag that's going on. And so it's on the screen now as well. So you know who you are that took this image. I'm just saying, Mrs. Snarky, you're an awful person for doing this to us.
Fucking great, dude. We're both doing the same thing because of the Twilight Zone doll.
Yes, we're both freaking out. Just.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh man. So, great. You know what I didn't do this last couple days?
What's up?
Well, do you remember when I said that I would have the thumbnail for our next show ready so that we could show it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
do that. We can still talk about it.
We can still talk about it. So what's our next show going to be about, Trey, since you have your paperwork there?
Oh, I didn't write that down.
Well, that's great. Why did I even send you a word page?
Do you not remember? I'll pull it up.
I remember. I'm just shocked by your lack of professionalism.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Don't you try to put this on me because you're freaking out about the stream and whatever.
We're going to be talking about urban legends, folklore, and horror authors. So that's going to be our next show. We
discussed maybe reading a couple ghost stories. I might read a short, fun story from one of the UFO books that I have, or at least discuss one of the sightings or whatever in them, because there are a lot of really weird, fun, spooky, kooky UFO encounters that people have claimed to have over the years. So
yeah, there
I
are.
think it's gonna be super fun.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to share this one with you because it's much better clarity. Okay. There's actually several people that sent out this picture. So give me just a second to get it sent to you. This one was Artemis Brain Sample that did it. He's a great guy.